Welcome to this week's edition of the Dixie Sun News at Noon. I'm Kiera Parham.
And I'm Hannah Hickman. Thanks for tuning in. DSU has canceled its annual Halloween event, Chaos. There is no word if it's been rescheduled. La Dia de los Muertos, or the Day of the Dead event, has also been canceled. Students, however, were able to participate in some aspects as the festival aimed to introduce a new culture and heritage to students.
Just wanted to share with the community so it could be that little bit of connection to culture, but this was really good way to just keep safety in mind, to have them pre-bagged. So normally at the entrance to a festival you would have a large entrance of flowers, so that's why we still had these out.
After months of waiting, the DSU and Gentry music video has finally been released. The video, which is a mashup of Rise Up by Andra Day and I Lived by One Republic, is meant to share the story of Dixie State rising up to a Division I school.
As of this morning, Utah has had 108,083 confirmed cases of coronavirus. Statewide, the death toll has reached 803. As of this week, there are 46 confirmed COVID-19 cases amongst DSU students, faculty, and staff, all of whom are self-isolating. Since May, DSU has had a total of 237 confirmed and recovered cases. The Utah Department of Commerce sent out a warning alerting Utahns of a new social media COVID relief scam. Scammers are hacking into social media accounts and are posting an official-looking COVID-19 number. Look out for red flags such as banking information as well as card information.
Election day is right around the corner, and it's more important now than ever to vote. Here is your guide to voting in 2020. Utah is primarily a vote-by-mail state, meaning that almost all registered voters will receive their ballots in the mail before Election Day. When you get your ballot, there'll be 4 categories: federal, state, county, and local, with the option to vote on judicial retention and proposed state constitutional amendments. This year has been a heated battle for the presidency between Trump and Biden, but there are 22 races you can vote on in Washington County. Most notably in the state, the position of governor is up for grabs this year. Spencer J. Cox, who is the lieutenant governor under Gary Herbert, is seen as a favorite for this role, but there are still 3 other candidates. This year, we also have the race for attorney general, state auditor, state treasurer, and representatives for various House districts. The most prominent race in the county is for County Commission Seat C. The current commissioner, Dean Cox, is seeking re-election, but is facing competition from others. There is also a variety of other county roles up for grabs, as well as open spots on local school boards. When it comes to judicial retention, this category includes the Supreme Court of Utah and the Court of Appeals. After that is the constitutional amendments. There are 7 of them. You can find information on all the candidates, judges, and constitutional amendments at voteinfo.utah.gov. So now your ballot is done. Before you go, make sure that your signature matches the one on your government record. Inconsistencies on your ballot can lead to your vote not being counted. If you want to drop off your mail-in ballot, there are 5 ballot boxes in Washington County, 1 in each of the 4 city libraries, and 1 at the Washington County Administration Office. If you are going to send it in the mail, it just needs to be postmarked by the day before the election. Don't let the action stop with voting. On Election Day, the Institute of Politics will be co-hosting an election night party at 6 p.m. in the Gardner Ballroom, where you can watch the results of your vote in action.
Despite COVID-19, small businesses in St. George are up and running. Thanks to St. George's Small Business Division, some of the services the division offers are assistance in developing a business plan, budgeting, and just about anything else that goes into starting a business. The services are free of charge and are completely confidential. For more information on how to get involved, you can visit utahsbdc.org.
St. George Fire Department celebrated a special occasion last week. As Fire Battalion Chief Ken Gard retired after almost 3 decades of service, last Thursday more than 50 people showed up to support and to appreciate all that Gard has done for the station and the community. Gard states that it was a tough decision to make, but in the end, he got to do everything he set out to do during his career. With all these events getting canceled, Dixie Sun reporter Jordan Palmer knows the perfect place to still social distance and have fun.
I really enjoy the outdoors, so I decided to come up here to Kolob Reservoir with my friends for the weekend and explore a little bit. Here's some things I found. Kolob Reservoir is only an hour and 40-minute drive away from Dixie State campus. It's dispersed camping, meaning you can camp anywhere on a first-come, first-served basis. We found an awesome little campground on the west side of the reservoir. Kolob Reservoir had plenty of tall trees which were great for hammocking. The reservoir is gorgeous and great for fishing or kayaking, while the surrounding areas offer many great hikes to explore. The weather was amazing for relaxing and eating around the campfire, which is what we spent most of our time doing over the weekend. It's a great place to get away with your friends and escape from the hustle and bustle of your everyday life. If you're looking for a place to go over the weekend, look no further than Kolob Reservoir. For Dixie Sun News, I'm Jordan Palmer.
Kolob is also known for being much colder than St. George. If you decide to go, make sure you bring a jacket.
Utah's fire managers extended fire season until November 30th. Normally, fire season runs from June until the end of October, but the lack of precipitation makes wildfire danger extremely high. Conditions are being evaluated daily, which may allow some parts of Utah to allow burning before others.
The University of Utah has acknowledged that the murder of one of its students was preventable. Lori McCluskey, a former student of University of Utah student, was shot and killed by her ex-boyfriend 2 years ago. The tragedy brought awareness about how universities need to have tools in place to help sexual assault and domestic violence victims. DSU, the only accredited university in the state of Utah with a recognized police force on campus, already has those tools in place.
Knowing from my previous experience what some of the recommendations in the report found was they wanted lethality assessment protocol or the LAP protocol put into place. They wanted trauma-informed victim interview or TIVI protocol put into place. And when I first came to the university, we worked with the Dove Center and we were already doing LAP and TIVI protocols for domestic violence or sexual assault style cases. So we were already compliant with those recommendations.
Yeah, it makes me feel safer that DSU already had these procedures in place, and unfortunately they didn't have them at University of Utah.
I think it's important that all schools should have these things in place so that we can prevent things like this happening. Stay tuned. After the break, I will dive in the most slept on movies for Halloween.
I have a backpack.
请所有同学回到座位哈。3、
I take the road less traveled, run free, unwind, unravel someplace outside with lots to do. Green trees, red rocks, and don't forget that blue sky. The sunshine shining, sunshine pouring on me. Think I might just stay a while. Say hooray all day because the sun's gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me. Sun's gonna shine on me.
1, 2, 3, 4. 0.52 kilograms. This graph is square.
Pretty close.
Artemisia is all the same pressure, but there's your needle and thread. Which one is this?
Radio Dixie 91.3. We don't play that. Nope, not that. A big fat no there. That's what we play. And stuff like that. On St. George's only alternative, Radio Dixie 91.3. Oh, and from 9 till midnight, we play this.
I need a one dance.
And this. Radio Dixie 91.3 FM.
Looking for a good Halloween movie? We got you covered. Grab your hot chocolate, a blanket, and maybe some popcorn. We have our Halloween recommendations for you. Welcome back, guys. The whole crew is here. We're going to sit down and rate Halloween movies and see which ones are the best for this season.
I know all of you are nuts, fans of scary movies, but I'm going to try to go down swinging. All right, so The Conjuring, dun-dun-dun. It's based on true events. On the left, as you guys see, is the real Ed and Lorraine Warren. On the right is the real Annabelle doll and the fake. And the best part, jump scares. And obviously, gotta get ready for the jump scares, especially with this witch. Our suckers for dogs. So there's a dog. So I said I was going to go down swinging. So there's a dog, and get ready for some tissues.
Completely opposite, and let's do something funny.
All right, I'm with it.
Now, first things first, I want to say, this is why comedy and not scary movies or rom-coms should be your movie of the year. Because who doesn't like a good comedy? Especially with Adam Sandler. That is my main point. How do you sleep at night knowing that you don't have a sense of humor? How do you?
Peacefully.
Would you rather pee yourself laughing or poop yourself crying? Ask yourself that.
These are our options.
Michael.
Is both a question? Both an answer, sorry.
You can't.
I mean, this is already funny because Shaq is already in here. I think I'm already interested.
Thank you. Already got the one with the scary movie on my side.
I'm still liking my pick. I'm still
not
like
a
one
big
leg
fan
over
of
my
Adam
pick.
Sandler, but it was a really funny movie.
Thank you. You almost had me for a sec. Hubie is the town hero that everyone needs to know about. He chases the woman of his dreams. He snitches on people who does bad in the neighborhood. And then there's Shaq in there. And that's his friend.
Beautiful.
You know what? I will give you a 10 out of 10 for not spoiling anything.
Yeah, actually, I really do appreciate that. There were no spoilers. I still have no idea what this movie is about at all.
Go for it.
All right.
Do you need some refreshments before you go?
I would love some. Thank you.
There you go. There you go.
Thank you. Why the Cinderella Story is the most slept on Halloween movie of all time. It is a crime. It has not gotten its recognition over the years. The plot literally revolves around Halloween night. This is a fall movie. It involves Halloween, homecoming. People don't accept this movie for what it truly is, which is Halloween. The costumes are immaculate, and you cannot tell me otherwise. We have the three females in their little Victoria's Secret angel outfits. You've got Zorro, you've got the Three Musketeers and Prince Charming, and then you have Hilary Duff as Cinderella. Are you kidding me? This is an immaculate forum for finding a best Halloween costume. And lastly, it's early 2000s Hilary Duff and Chad Michael Murray, like flawless. I don't see how you could hate on any of this. It is impeccable. Look at the steamy moment on camera. You know what's not disappointing? This movie. It's iconic and it's everything you really need in a Halloween movie.
Steph, you should be like a salesman because I am sold. I am so sold.
Thank you.
I think that was a good segue into my traditional Halloween movie. Looking for a blast from the past. Arguably, Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King is the best animated Halloween movie. We have just a quick overview. If you're not familiar with Scooby-Doo and the Goblin King, it is also on Halloween night, and Shaggy and Scooby have to head to the underworld to stop this crazy mortal. So it's a timeless movie, first of all, right? It brings back all the nostalgic feels. Who doesn't love Scooby-Doo and Shaggy? Scooby's a dog. As Michael said earlier, we all love dogs. There are a ton of life lessons in the movie, like not letting your fears hold you back. Even though Shaggy and Scooby were arguably very afraid to go in the underworld, they didn't let it hold them back, and they saved the world king, and that is the best animated Halloween movie there is. And the Goblin King does come out the same year as the first Twilight film. So.
And with the first Twilight film, that leads us right into the movie I chose, which is the whole Twilight saga. That's why I bring to us the Twilight saga. Yes, they are Halloween movies. The Twilight series is in fact scary. Stop being closed-minded. Some of the most terrifying themes in Twilight include vampires and werewolves, of course. Those are pretty scary. Those are like your key Halloween theme. The second most scariest thing, in my opinion, is the teen pregnancy. She got married and had a baby at 17, which is really, really scary. The amount of shirtless men was also a very, very terrifying theme. There was just too many of them. Also, that CGI baby. Don't know what happened there. Don't know what happened. Here's the fact. Twilight, you can watch it any day of the year, baby. It never gets old. To end off, hotties. Wow, look at all those hotties. Seriously, how is this allowed?
For our segment, thank you guys so much for participating, and we're going to get back to Michael in the studio with sports.
Bam.
After you joined our family, it was like, I really do feel complete now.
The wait is over as the Western Athletic Conference dropped the official regular season and conference schedules for volleyball, men's and women's soccer, and men's and women's basketball. Starting off with volleyball, for the first two conference games, we have New Mexico State and UTRGV. The Trailblazers will have New Mexico State on the road on January 25th and the 26th. And they'll start its WAC debut at home against UTRGV on February 1st and February 2nd. Now I'm bringing in the next team for men's and women's men's and women's soccer. Let's talk about men's soccer first. That we're going to have Air Force. They're going to have Air Force on February 6th, and they'll hit the road for California Baptist on February 13th. Now for women's soccer, they'll be out on the road for their WAC debut against California Baptist on February 18th and the 20th. Then they'll have their home WAC debut against Grand Canyon University on February 25th and 27th. Now, men's and women's basketball dropped its official schedule, and we're just going to give you guys the first home and road non-conference and conference games. So for men's basketball, St. Catherine will kick off the D1 era for men's basketball on November 28th. Then they'll hit the road for Denver on December 12th. And for conference play, they had the regular season champs of New Mexico State on January 8th and January 9th. Then they'll hit the road for UTRGV on January 15th and January 16th. Now for women's basketball, they'll be home for Life Pacific on November 25th to kick off their D1 era, and they'll hit the road for UNLV on December 16th. And on the contrary to men's basketball, they'll have New Mexico State on January 8th and 9th, and they'll have their home WAC debut against UTRGV on January 15th and 16th. It's great to see men's and women's basketball to have its full schedule release, and they know what to expect. We're still waiting on men's and women's soccer and volleyball to release its non-conference schedule. We'll keep you guys updated on when that comes out. Bouncing back to some more NORUFO, we take a look at what the DC men's basketball team will be up against in the Western Athletic Conference. At number 1 from last season's standings, we have New Mexico State, number 2, California Baptist, 3, University of Texas, Rio Grande Valley, 5, Seattle U. Let's bring in the next teams. Number 6, we have Grand Canyon. 8, Utah Valley. 9, we have Chicago State, And last but not least, we have Tarleton State, who finished 7th in the Lone Star Conference at the Division II level. And looking at last season's records, despite New Mexico State running away with the conference, 2 through 6, it's going to be important in who's in those spots, because for the Western Athletic Conference tournament, it's going to be important who beats who in the WAC, by how much, and who's going to take down the champs of New Mexico State and take home the WAC title and have an opportunity at March Madness later in March. So let's look at the teams to watch out for in the WAC.
The first team to watch out for is already a given with UVU.
Averett now with 10. Overton with 8. Overton sees a crease, drives, booyah!
The Wolverines can be a problem offensively by averaging 70 points a game and playing solid defense, leading to more scoring opportunities on offense.
That's his 5th steal. Averett with the reverse layup again, silky.
UTRGV is another team who can get it done offensively.
Grab by Johnson. There's Jackson with it up.
The Vaqueros had the 3rd best scoring offense and were number 1 in steals and assists.
Oh, it is back to the basket.
California Baptist is dangerous on both sides of the court.
Aqua works to his left, gives off Cool, same spot, open 3 in the corner, got the roll, it's up and in
purple pool.
The Lancers had the best scoring offense and best field goal percentage defense in the conference. Other teams will have its hands full with CBU.
And layup is good, and the foul. Brandon Boyd, a clinical move.
Finally, the obvious team to watch out for is New Mexico State. The Aggies have sat on top of the WAC for the past 6 out of 7 seasons, dating back to the 2013-14 season. It's going to be interesting to see how the Trailblazers will fare in year 1 of Division 1.
I know the WAC's a great conference, and we know we're going to have our hands full, no question about it. But we're preparing. We're getting our guys in shape. We're trying to get them stronger. You know, we're doing all these things we can to be competitive in the WAC.
There's going to be high-level competition to see which teams place where in the standings and who's going to take the throne from New Mexico State. Now, looking back to the men's basketball team's success in the Division II era, they haven't had a losing season in 11 years. All that success comes from the guidance of head coach John Judkins. Judkins is the winningest men's coach in Utah collegiate basketball history with 561 wins. He has a 285-133 all-time record at DSU, knows how to win at home with a record of 135-29, 6-time Pac-West Coach of the Year, and all of his notable accomplishments as the Trailblazers head coach. Let's see if Judkins' success carries his success from the Division II era to beat the next level of competition in D1. I definitely want Judkins to be the leader of this men's basketball team for sure, and for sure his guidance, for sure they're going to have success in the Western Athletic Conference.
Well, with a track record like that, I think, we've got to look out for them, and hopefully that the men's basketball team will definitely have a chance to shine on the court.
Exactly, and their coach is already dominating, so they have to dominate as well, and I have no doubt that they will.
Yeah, definitely, I agree.
A child's viral drawing of Utah Jazz star Rudy Gobert has taken on a new form, this time in the shape of a pumpkin. A user on Twitter posted their pumpkin, carved to match the drawing that went viral a month ago. Luckily, Gobert had good humor about it and called it a 10 out of 10. Well, it's nothing like my pumpkin, that's for sure. I took a more traditional route and carved Mike Wazowski from Monsters, Inc.
Yeah, that Rudy Gobert pumpkin, that was pretty funny, and I've seen your pumpkin on Instagram, Hannah, and it's really good.
He's bold. He did better than I would ever do, because I am not touching a pumpkin because I will not waste my money trying to do that. And that's it for this week's edition of the Dixie Sun News at Noon.
We will see you here next week, same time, same place.
Have a great week, Trailblazers.